motion, slicing through like waves on the ocean. Tape to tape with perfect aim, setting up a scoring claim. The coach's voice booms from the bench, calling plays an expert cinch. Pucks on net, let 'em rip.
Welcome
We'll bring the
to Cross Ice Pass, episode 36. I'm your host, Coach Steve Mosier. Cross Ice Pass is part of the Hockey Podcast Network. This episode is brought to you by BetterHELP and DraftKings Sportsbook. This week, I'm going to start with I'm just going to use happy, surprising, not surprising, and pretty unusual for this episode, because I think it all kind of sits within there, some of the things that I've been seeing. So, happy. Let's start there. The Flower has done it again with pranks by dressing up as a member of the Minnesota Wild Ice Crew. If you haven't seen this, check it out. There's plenty of videos about it. Apparently, their color guy in Minnesota heard him telling the boys to have a good game. So, Flower, legend, Hall of Famer, does it again. Awesome. And he seems to enjoy his teammates and the cities he plays for pretty great. I have a feeling that his number will be retired in PPG in the Raptors at one point. The hockey news is 77 years old. That's wild. I did not know this. And it's even older than Sports Illustrated by 7 years. So, mind blown. I mean, for the hockey news to be older than what I thought was the oldest sports news platform is surprising to me. So, congratulations, Hockey News. If you don't read Hockey News, you should. Congrats to Rasmus Dahlin on getting his C in Buffalo. He deserves it. His hero is Nick Lidstrom. Same with Victor Hedman, who's the captain of Tampa. I think it's pretty awesome to hear these great young Swedish players. Hedman's getting a little older, that can lead their team just like Nick did. The perfect human has worn off on other Swedish hockey talent. So, congratulations, Rasmus. Manon Rayam's son is playing at the University of Michigan, and that is mind-blowing. And the fact that this kid might have a chance of playing the NHL, just like his mom did, only one time, would be very cool. Manon Rayam has been a big part of coaching and playing, mostly coaching though, in Michigan in the Little Caesars program. So her son definitely went through all that. Her son definitely, growing up in Michigan, probably wanted to play for U of M. So there we go. Keep an eye on the kid. Surprising. And I almost don't want to talk about this, but it's a big piece of news in hockey since we're kind of in this period before the season starts officially. This Swayman drama is a bit much. I think he is reaching a bit, I gotta say. He is loosely in the top 10 goaltenders in the league, and for sure the top 15. But Sorokin makes $8.2 million. Hellebuck makes $8.5 million, which he signed this year to take him to 2030. And Hellebuck is a Vezina Trophy winner twice in the last 5 years, and he's taken that in $8.5 million. Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky, they make $9.5 million and $10 million. They're kind of the up there ones. Actually, what's funny is the highest paid goaltender right now is Carey Price still. So glad he's getting paid, I guess. Not glad for Montreal fans, I'm sure. And Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky, they have Florida money. I think if they played anywhere else, they'd probably be making less. So anyway, Shesterkin's going to be in the 9 to 10 range. Swayman deserves exactly what he's going to what he was offered. Take the money with a great organization that you will win with. If you think you're going to go somewhere else and get more money, it's going to be a team that you're might barely make the playoffs kind of team. That doesn't really help you as your legacy in your career. So I don't know. I think Swayman's being a bit stubborn, to be quite frank. Not surprising, all 32 NHL teams will wear a sticker of the Goudreau brothers. That's amazing. I think that they're really showing, I think the hockey community overall is really showing the Goudreau family a lot of love, and they deserve every ounce of it. So I'm happy that every player will be wearing that helmet or that sticker. I really wish even beer leaguers like myself could get my hands on these stickers. I'm willing to put money towards these organizations, and support Goudreau. And the good thing about the beer league is that I'll put a sticker on my helmet. It's not coming off until my helmet breaks. So we'll never forget him. Love them or hate them, Flyers fans show up. Yes, Flyers fans show up. And they were packed at training camp. There's video and photos of this where you can almost not even stand. There was no standing room even at their training camp. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense because Flyers fans should be excited about this season and what they have in front of them. The Hughes brothers on EA Sports NHL 25 is awesome. I'm a big fan of the Hughes brothers. Not the teams they play on, generally speaking, but and all three. I think all three of them were born in different places because their dads work. But they have become big staples in Michigan. They all played for Michigan, generally speaking. So, um, you know, go Hughes brothers. Now only if I can grow octopus arms to use the buttons to be good at NHL 25, because my video games were a bit of the 8-bit world back when I was younger. Unusual. Kirill the Thrill wants to go to Chicago when his contract is up in Minnesota. I call BS on this. This is either him joking or a ploy to get a big payday in 2026. How about just pad your stats, buddy? The GM of the Wild has said we'll throw any money we can at him to make sure he stays in Minnesota throughout his career. What is this talk of Atlanta as an expansion again? So apparently 2 strikes and you're still at the plate, I guess. Atlanta's not the place. People don't play hockey in Atlanta. There's not much youth development in Atlanta. But they did mention Houston, and Houston does make sense because Houston is a sports town. Houston is become a hockey town. Houston has had hockey since Gordie Howe threw on the Houston Aeros jersey way back in the day. So there are fans there. I have friends that work at the NHL that grew up in Houston. So there's something there. Not in Atlanta, though. I don't really run into a lot of people that are like, I'm from Atlanta. I played hockey in Atlanta. What? So Bleacher Report has some really unusual and quite frankly dumb hot takes. Laine is not going to lead the Habs to the playoffs. Listen, I feel for Patrick Laine, especially what happened in this preseason. The guy can't, he just can't. I feel so bad for Patrick Laine because he just can't win. The poor guy, he doesn't deserve what's happening to him. I know he finally got to Montreal and he seems to be happy, but sounds like he might be out for 2 to 3 months. Hopefully not. But listen, the Montreal Canadiens aren't going to make the playoffs. They're just not. They don't have the goaltender or the defense to do that. They don't have a good third and fourth line to do that. So Montreal is going to be probably probably the worst team in the Atlantic Division, and it's unfortunate because I do love Suzuki and Caulfield. I love those guys, but not yet. Sorry, they got to get some more pieces of this puzzle in Montreal. The Devils are not going to make the Eastern Conference Final. These hot takes just drive me crazy. Devils going to the ECF is stupid. By the way, Devils fans, and I know I'm in New York City, I'm close to Devils fans and blah, blah, blah. But one goalie is not going to take you above 500, maybe. And, yes, less injuries. Okay. But Devils fans, don't forget last year. I want you to not forget last year. Because it seems like Devils fans think about 2 years ago when the Devils surprised us all and really surprised, the all the other teams that, by kind of making the playoffs, playing well, things like that. It's not happening, Devils. I'm sorry. You might make the playoffs, but you're not going to go very far. So the last hot take that I wanna bark at is the Iser plan failing the team, so they don't reach the playoffs. That's not a hot take. By the way, if the Red Wings don't make the playoffs, it's because they're in the hardest division in the game. Every team, including Montreal, has a chance this year. So if the Red Wings don't make it, it has nothing to do with the Iser plan is failing, because there's a lot of young talent. It's going to be a very young team again, and we'll have to see. Listen, the Detroit Tigers are going somewhere with a young team. Let's see. Maybe Detroit is the fountain of youth of some sort. So today's interview with Keegan McGraw. This week's guest is a player, but was a goalie and is a bit of a bare knuckle boxer, but he's from my neck of the woods in Michigan, in this neck of the woods, around the Oakland County area, and he played most of his career in the Southeast Michigan area, but he started in net, played juniors in net. Life kind of changed for him, and I did get to hang out with Keegan in Michigan, get to learn more about him before I interviewed him, which was great. I prefer that with people, if I can do it. Sometimes you can't, but I want to mention, I say Keegan is a pro boxer, and he's a humble dude. He's not quite there yet. He has been training as a pro boxer, but he doesn't have a lot of fights. I don't think he's got any fights underneath his belt. So he's been waiting for the opportunity to arise. And it's going to come soon. I know it will. But, soon enough we'll get some fights under his belt. I know he's hungry for it. So on that note, let's switch over to Keegan. Well, we've got a fellow Michigander, born in Pontiac, just like I was. Grew up as a goalie playing in the Detroit area and eventually played for my rivals with Waterford Kettering. He's much younger than me now, so we never played against each other. Played juniors in Canada and the Midwest. 200 career penalty minutes in net. Was suspended for fighting in the stands for a long time. We'll talk about that. Found bare knuckle boxing after he left hockey. Has been training the last decade as a pro fighter. In 2022, fought in the Ice Wars event in Alberta as a super heavyweight. In 2022, came back to hockey as a forward with the Carolina Thunderbirds and our hometown Waterford Sharks in the Michigan Independence Hockey League, where he was able to use his pro boxing skill. Recently signed in the American Premier Hockey League with the Kalkuska Battlers. On top of this, still a full-time blue-collar factory employee. Welcome to Cross Ice Pass, Keegan McGraw.
How we doing? Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, heck yeah. No, I gotta add my little first question always about what is your fondest hockey memory, and it can be recent, it can be an old one. You can give me more than one or two. You can give me one or two, whatever you want.
Uh, I mean, I don't know to be honest. I had some good ones in that obviously definitely enjoyed. Had some real good memories from in that. To be honest, I played a lot in Lakeland and stuff like you said, high school and stuff there as a goalie, and playing those games with the Sharks in the Lakeland barn, just the vibes from being in Lakeland stuff. Dropping the gloves at center ice in Lakeland. It was fun, just with all your buddies in the crowd and shit, at the local barn there. So that was pretty cool. But I mean, yeah, I mean that that first time with Carolina too, that was pretty fun. Just all that, everything happening quickly and becoming a forward in hockey, coming from being a retired junior goalie for several years. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good memories. It's hard to pick one, you know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of good stuff for sure.
Yeah, no, I saw the highlight of that fight at Lakeland, and I got a question little further down the road here of the ones I got here, because yeah, I can't imagine playing pro hockey in a place where you were such a kid.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, spent a lot of time up there in high school with buddies and stuff, just mixing it up, and even just we'd hang out there, after practice and stuff. We just loved hanging out up there. So being able to so many years later and stuff, just the vibes and just reminiscing, being back in there and being able to have fun and stuff in there is a good time. So, but
the place still smells the same too. Every time I walk
yeah,
into
for
it,
sure. Yeah, they got some
smells
good.
like popcorn.
They got some good popcorn. Yeah, they got some
Yeah.
good popcorn.
Well, it kind of perfect because let's start there, I think. Because I'm kind of curious to walk through your youth hockey life. Like, what age did you start? What kind of brought you to it? And then, of course, why the heck did you want to be a goalie?
Uh, so growing up, yeah, my pops, he was a good hockey player. He played AAA growing up, and then when he played junior and stuff, he played for Little Caesar for Illich. Way before Illich had the Red Wings and stuff, he played for his Little Caesars junior team, and he was a goal scorer. He was a good hockey player, but growing up with him, obviously as my father, he got us on the ice pretty early and stuff, and yeah, as I got a little bit older, maybe around I don't know, 11 or 12, I wanted to switch to net, and I drove him crazy, obviously. But yeah, I went out with goalie, and then a couple years in, I hit a growth spurt, got pretty tall, so that worked out. And then yeah, but I played growing up. The first time I got on the ice, like just skating around, was at Jack Adams in down in Detroit, and skated there. First couple years, learned how to skate and all that, and then played some youth hockey in at the old Southfield barn. I played growing up there, and then Troy for a little bit, and then uh, high school. Hawks for a little bit too with Lakeland, but and then over to Waterford to
Um,
play high school there.
yeah, and then after, from what I ascertain, after Kettering, that's when you kind of jumped into your junior career, right?
Yeah, so I played with the Tri City Ice Hawks in Bay City my first year, and then second year junior played for the Sioux Firehawks up in Sault Ste. Marie stateside, and then after that went up to Canada and played in Muskoka there, and then in Meaford, and then with some stuff that kind of went on up there, so I got dipped out of Canada, and then came back down and finished it up with the Russians over in the Alpina team. So yeah,
Yeah, when I look at that roster on Hockey Database, I'm like, there's like almost zero Americans on there.
Yeah,
It's kind of surprising.
I think I was only Yank Moore, no, there was one other guy, and then a Canuck on the team, or a Canadian player on the team, and but yeah, that was it. Yeah, the rest were Belarus boys, maybe a Latvian. One of the roommates was Edgar. He was a Latvian boy, but yeah, a couple Latvians, a couple Belarus fellas, and then all Russian lads. So yeah, but no, it was a good time. It was some good boys, but yeah, it was all Russian owned, Russian ran, like Russian coaches, Russian owners. All
You never think that would show up in Alpena.
yeah, really, it was wild. We used to, excuse me, we used to wheel around in these white convertibles, like four of them. That's how we get around places.
Wow.
Like,
Did you guys have
you,
matching Adidas warm-ups or something on?
eating like cold hot dogs and cold pancakes on the five baggies and stuff. It was silly.
The life of junior hockey, right? Out of all
So,
those teams, which one was your favorite to play with?
I enjoyed all of them, but probably I love the boys in the Sioux. There's some good tough native lads on that team, and we kicked the shit out of everybody. Nobody in that league every time, and it didn't matter who was scrapping. Everybody could bang pretty good. So, but yeah, probably there's some good lads on that team. There's a lot of tough boys. So yeah, no, I'd probably say
Well, that's a perfect segue into the thing I want to ask about, which is where did the I don't know when I saw that stat that you have 200 career penalty minutes in net,
that.
it's kind of shocking to me.
Yeah.
But and from you and I's conversations outside of this, it sounds like it probably was a lot of them were in the Sioux. But
Yeah, yeah.
talk me through that a bit.
Well, there's a lot that in the first year too, to be honest, with Tri City, and there are definitely quite a few, tens on there. I'm not proud to say that. I'm not too good of it, but the, and that what you were talking about too. That's when our first away trip in St. Louis got into the off-ice altercation that took place after the game, and me and my buddy, we were in jumpsuits when it happened, and the rest of all the St. Louis boys were all in their gear and shit. We had a buddy in exchange. Larry, he was in his equipment on the ice trying to get over the glass, hop over the glass. But yeah, we were basically scrapping like 14 lads, like us two, and then security guys were getting in. My folks were running over, mixing it up. The security guys, mom had her shoes off and everything. So yeah, no, once they see it going down like that, they come mix it up too. That's where I get it from. So, but no, yeah. So that kind of started off the junior career with like I think it was a 12 game stuff, maybe it was like 12 or 10 game suspension. I don't really. It was a long time ago now. I've been hit in the head a few times since then.
Back in those days,
So
because I know now when like my kids get suspended or get booted from a game, they they have to come and sit their suspension. Did you have
yeah,
to go? Did you have to put on the suit and be at every game? I imagine,
yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah,
and just kind of breathe in, breathe out. How many
yeah.
out of the times that you got to 10 minutes? Hopefully you guys had a decent backup goaltender.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely played with some good tendy partners along the way, definitely.
Good. Well, since we talked about your fight in the stands and that big suspension, of course, I know that you used to like to muck it up as a goaltender as well. Sure, like you mentioned to me before, there were guys in the NHL that you loved. Like, I was watching highlights. I think between when I saw you in Michigan and this, they did like a highlight thing on Instagram of Tim Thomas
Oh
just
yeah. Timmy
you
T
know
just blocking. Yeah, that was one of my favorite. I love how you should just block her. Just throw
yeah.
that blocker. That was definitely one of my favorites for sure.
And
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he's the
grabbed
best because we got to see him in Flint for the
yeah,
Generals. We got to see him with the
the
Vipers.
vibes. Yeah, yeah, I love Timmy. At the end of my last bucket, I still have it. I had the mage. that bucket that he has, and I got a Shamrocks on both sides. It's nasty. Yeah, I'm pissed. I got that like right towards the end too when I was playing, and those, and I got these thick, uh Coho 587 vintage purple and black pillows, and then I was done. So yeah, I still got all that stuff too. I
Never
tell
know. You
myself
never
I should
know.
sell it, but
Yeah,
I
you
can't.
never know. All of a sudden, like two goalie injuries, and they might
I'm
they
not
might
gonna
ask
lie,
you.
it'll be fun to play. I haven't played in that in a while, but it'd be fun to toss on the pillows at some point.
Let's talk about the whole situation with Port Huron that kind of, you know, basically you put the skates up and put everything in the closet and moved on. When was
Yes.
what was that? What was that decision? And you're just kind of like, I'm over this.
So when like maybe a year. I don't know if I took a year off after junior, but right after juniors, I got invited to camp with the Port Huron Prowlers their inaugural season. This was when I was playing that still, obviously, and signed a PTO with them. But then, unfortunately, I got into some trouble, some legal trouble, and I wasn't able to report for season and all that. And then, yeah, I kind of just, had court dates, for the next, I was dealing with all that stuff, and then I had to deal with probation, spending a bunch of money, all that shit, and excuse me, yeah, so
Being young, you were
yeah,
being young. That's
right,
basically what that sounds like to me.
right, yeah. So obviously being on probation and dealing with all that stuff for over a year, so I wasn't able to go, I wasn't able to report for season, and then I kind of just stopped playing. I mean, I played some, beer league on and off, but then, pretty much after that, that was it for that, and then then started playing. I haven't been on the ice, let alone in that. I haven't been on the ice in years, in several years. I don't throughout my 20s, and then uh, when I, when AJ Galante, shout out AJ, when he was originally with Ice Wars when it started up, because I went to a BKFC, a bare knuckle camp that I got invited to down in New Orleans a few months previous to that, and linked up with a guy down there, Kevin Smith, who's good Canadian boy, but he works with bare
Not
knuckle.
the Kevin Smith that made Clerks, right?
No, no. But shortly after that, I came in contact with AJ though, and then I told him I was like I was in net and stuff and all that. That's one thing I regret too. I wish I would have worn my tennis skates when I first did ice sores.
I wonder if
I
you could get away with that. Maybe a little more
Yeah,
balance.
I couldn't have been. Oh, that would have. Yeah, I definitely needed that. But yeah, no, for sure, the player skates. It took some time to get used to. Definitely, I definitely wish because I said I was already gong show. I should have just put the tennis skates on to it. But no, I went full on with all the player equipment and player skates and all that, and then. Yeah, after all that stuff, I started actually skating out and got a couple offers from teams and stuff to come, drop the gloves once or twice a night, and then started playing, and it's coming along. I mean, I've definitely improved a bit, but I mean, when I played with Waterford, I netted a few and stuff, and no, it's coming along. I'm looking forward to this year. I'm obviously looking forward to scrapping whoever wants it, heavy wise within the leagues that I'm playing in this year. But I'm I enjoy being on the ice, and
Try to get you back to the
everything's
Fed.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been working on the skating a lot. Everything's coming along, so I'm looking forward to this next season being back on the ice. Because last season, obviously, I had that year that I came back and then uh, started playing forward, and then last season I was out with an injury. I had a disc in my back, so I was working on that, getting that all taken care of, and then supposed to have a fight over in Liverpool on my birthday that didn't end up occurring. So yeah, so basically just rehab the back that whole past season because I was when I was working because I dropped like 30 pounds for that fight and stuff too, right? Coming
Hmm.
into that. So once I had rehabbed the back and got all the shots and everything, I did like maybe 4 months of PT, like intense PT. And after that, when I dropped all that weight, because I was the fight was I forget what, because it was in kilogram, because it was over in England, but I had to drop like 40 pounds total. And when I found out the fight wasn't going on anymore, I was like, I had dropped like 35 of it. And so that was kind of rough because I took
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
weight off and all that, and I'm put time aside and all that. But
Did you the
after that,
any of the Jackie Chan stuff where he just put on like 5 jumpsuits and sit in the sauna?
yeah, oh yeah, like I did every run, I mean, layered up with like a couple hoodies on, garbage bag over that. I gotta be sweating.
Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Visit betterhelp.com/THPN today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/THPN. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at
Yeah.
nfl.com/terms.
But yeah,
I kind of want to take a step back after, you kind of hung up the skates. And I mean, I know you had fights on the ice, and obviously we know you had fights off the ice in the stands and things like that. When did actually, like, thinking that being a fighter and, trying to like train to use that extra aggression you had there as
yeah.
a boxer, and then how did you choose bare knuckles versus gloves?
So, so when I was younger and coming up, like I was always a scrappy kid and always enjoyed fights, watching fights, being in fights, all that stuff, typical stuff. But once, like when because like I said, I stopped playing hockey, and then throughout my 20s, younger 20s, mid 20s, I was mixing it up on the streets a bit, and doing my thing out there, and there was a lot of stuff going on, and I was, using it was being physical out there, you know what I mean? And it just came to a point where, I just wanted to get my life together and kind of get on the straight end. And, that's when I started boxing.
Was there a trainer or a coach that kind of, because
Yeah,
it always seems like there's that story that someone
yeah.
grabbed a guy that liked to street fight a little bit,
So
and then they bring him into the ring.
I was working for this dude for a little bit, and that's who, down in the city, that's who got me boxing originally. And I was doing glove boxing training. And I ain't gonna mention his name. He ain't here no more, but he was a snake. Yeah,
Fair.
yeah. So I ain't
We'll
even gonna
leave that
mention
as
his
his
name,
name.
but yeah, right. So yeah, he's a bum. But after that, bare knuckle had recently became sanctioned, maybe a few months. Uh, I don't know what year it became sanctioned in the states, and when it first started off, it was only a few states sanctioned at a time. But once that got my attention, I started reaching out to promoters and stuff. And then shortly after all that, I came in contact with a couple people, and then, like I said, I went to the BKFC camp down in and that's kind of when, well, a few months after that is when I got in contact with AJ. So yeah, I'm still hopefully next summer. I'm praying that I get over because I'm definitely definitely gonna be making my debut with Bad to the Bone for sure. With Steph over there, he's been chatting with him. Shout out to him. But that's he knows that's the promotion I want to debut with him. And this last one we really wanted it to work out, but unfortunately it didn't. And I'm praying that next summer I get over there, but for right now I really want to focus on hockey. Like you said, I work full time in the factory and stuff, and just going to be doing the weekend warrior stuff. But I really want to see what leagues I can climb to, with doing this, because
Yeah.
yeah, because it's crazy. A lot of because yeah, we'll see. But that's I really want to focus on hockey for this season. Not playing it all last season. I'm really jonesing to fight on the ice and just be on the ice in general. I'm really really excited for this season and stuff. Get going and but
Yeah.
uh,
No,
but yeah,
I know AJ brought you into it. Um,
yeah. Shout out
to
to
compete.
AJ, man. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be playing forward or all that stuff if it weren't for AJ. He got me back. And it's a blessing too, because man, like just being younger and being a part of the hockey community, like there's nothing like it. Like it really, I for real could get emotional talking about it. Like you really feel like at home, and so to be back, in the hockey community, even though it's in a different way, but it's amazing. It's just so happy, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
love it.
man.
So yeah,
So important to get in the room,
yeah, with
battle
the
with your with the
boys,
guys. So
yeah, especially you got a couple good buddies on the team, and you're out there taking a few, giving a few for all the fellas, everybody
right.
getting fired up. There's no feeling like it, it really is.
We know AJ got you that fight at Ice Wars, and I know AJ knows you well. Would probably get you back into this thing he's working on, Major League Hockey fights.
Yeah.
So
So,
um,
so I was talking to him the other day, congratulating him on his new endeavors with Danbury and the Fat Dan, and he was telling me, he was like, it's in the works, so it's coming. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this next season in general. I'm looking
yeah,
forward to these next couple of years here for sure. So
no, and it's good that you're connected with him because it's such his story is so wild as everyone's seen it on
yeah,
Netflix. But
yeah,
he's been a real community guy in
yeah,
Danbury.
and
Um,
he's loyal as they come, and that's a quality these days that it's very rare. So no,
yeah,
man, AJ's a good loyal dude. Comes from good people. So yeah, no, there's
yeah.
nothing but love and respect for him and his family. So yeah.
Um, I kind of wanted to ask you about when did the Carolina Thunderbirds give you a shout?
Yeah, so they got a hold of me. I was healing up from that shoulder injury, and right when I got cleared, he had hit me up. The coach had contacted me like maybe a month before that because he was looking for a heavy for the weekend, and I told him that I still got to get cleared by the doc. And a month went by, and they happened to be in Motor City, so they got a hold of me, and yeah, kind of just went from there. Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, I had went and did the good thing, dropped the gloves at center ice, and I had never played, not only played a game as a player, but I never practiced as a player.
right.
Like I had done some morning shinnies and stuff, you know what I mean? But with the team, like I
Yeah,
never did a practice as a player. So I kind of
you're
dove
like
in.
a breakout. That's a
Yeah,
breakout.
right. Well, when if the puck came anywhere near me, I gave it to somebody as quick as possible. Yeah, you already know. Yeah. I was,
Yeah,
chicken with its head cut off. But yeah, no, honestly, it went well. My first shift, I went out and I got thrown in the box pretty quick. I don't even remember what they called me for, but I had two good hits right away, and then maybe an elbow or something behind the net. I don't know. I think he kind of took a dive or whatever. But I thought for not knowing, kind of going out there free balling, I was like, good, I'm in the box. I'm doing, I'm doing
Yeah.
the
Good
going
thing
thing.
is you've
So
seen enough of it. You've seen enough of it. You
right,
watched
right,
it and everything
and
else.
and even as a attendee, growing up, like those were always my favorite players. You know what I mean? When it came to, obviously I was a goalie, and I was a fan of, the goaltenders in the National League that I was looking up to. Ray Emery, especially guys, goalies that dish like fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, Ray Emery, that was my guy. Rest in peace. But
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't even know. Like it's kind of sad to say. I think the only guy that right now is kind of like that is Bennington.
yeah, yeah, and
But he's not like a tough guy. He's
yeah,
kind of
cause,
just
cause yeah,
he's
when
been a bit of an a-hole,
but
to be quite frank.
could bang too for attendee, and they only saw it recently when he fought. Who was it? Who did he go? Talbot when Smitty was on. Because Mike can throw, man. Mike Smith, he can bang for attendee. He
Yeah.
hits hard too. Yeah, shit. He you ever see when he went Chris Neal in the corner when he was on Tampa?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, and I love that too because when I played in that, like I never even had a center I still with attendee, but I'd always be mixing up and grabbing the player, as soon as I had the opportunity, as soon as if you poked at me once or
Smack your
twice, that
glove
I was
off.
you're getting a blocker first, and then yeah,
Yeah.
everything sheds off, shortly after, or a tomahawk first, one of the
Well, we
two
got
for
we
sure.
got Talbot now in Detroit, so we'll
Yeah,
see how
yeah,
that works.
yeah,
See if we get to
for,
watch some of that. Maybe
for
he'll chase
sure.
down Fleury because I know Fleury's hungry for one. I know it. I feel bad for him. So
Yeah, and
um,
Fleury's playing again this year too. How much longer what is
he's
he?
probably gonna. I think he's got probably got another year
Yeah, that's
because
wild
they re-signed Gustafson.
to
So
be playing as attendee in the National League at that age. That's very impressive at this day and age. That's just
oh yeah,
pretty
he'll go
cool.
down
Pretty
as one of the
cool.
greats for
Yeah,
sure. I think
yeah,
he's the last great French, kind of Quebec goaltender because that was
he's a,
such a big thing for so many years with
yeah,
Waugh and Brodeur and
yeah,
Potman and everything.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. He's a good attendee, yeah, for sure. He's always definitely been exciting to watch over the years.
Keegan, I was listening the other day to the Fourth Line Voice podcast, and you mentioned something about training with Trevor Gillies.
Yeah, but that never because what was I think we were supposed to link up for that was anyway and shout out Trevor Gillies, yeah, such a beauty. Every time when I first got started with this stuff, him, Georges Larac, like guys that you wouldn't think that would be in your DMs. Like I never thought, and when I was a kid watching them bang it out, on old remember when the games, like Tuesday and Thursday night games were on OLN,
Yeah,
in like the early 2000s kind of, and yeah, watching those lads bang it out, on TV, and looking up to those guys and just idolizing those guys. Have nothing but respect and all that, but never thinking that I'd be having a conversation with them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But every time when I first started, I messaged Larac, and sorry, I'm getting off track. I'll get
it's
back,
okay.
but I messaged Larac, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, what do you, I'm a big boy too, and I'm kind of new to this, on the ice in player skates and player equipment." And I'm like, I showed him some videos and stuff, and I'm like, can you tell me some tips? Like what do you get your skate sharpened at? This and that, like little things like that. And he responded back within a day and, with all this stuff. So yeah, real nice guy. But no, with Gillies, I reached out to him and he got back a hold of me and I sent him some stuff. And yeah, I was supposed to go down because he was down in Georgia. I don't know if he's still there right now, but that's where he was at the time. And I was going to go down there and train with him, but unfortunately that never occurred. But regardless, Gillies is always after every fight that I was posting when I first started, he'd always be messaging me words of encouragement. And anytime I've had any questions or anything, and he's given me loads of tips with crossing and everything because he was a southpaw too. So he's told me a bunch of little tricks and stuff. Because he was quite a mechanic out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He strategically, like, he was tough as nails and he was crazy and he had that, that hunger and that gur, but he was
Well, and you
smart.
and I
He was
know.
smart when he was going.
Oh
He,
yeah, and you
he
and I
was always
know.
he was always thinking, yeah. And I
Everyone,
like that.
everyone in Detroit's got the Probert jerseys, but since I live in New York, go to
Yeah.
Islanders games, you see a lot of Gillies jerseys.
Yeah, man. Gilly's the man. Yeah. No, yeah.
They
Shout
loved
out.
him. They loved him around here.
For sure, yeah, he's a beauty, man, and he's like I said, he's such a good dude, man. Like those guys, like getting started, and thinking like from their shoes, like who's this, who's this, but like they're not like that, like real respectful, and like I said, like they were loving talking about it. Gilly's just telling me how much, he misses shedding the mitts, scrapping. He's telling me how much he misses it, man. And he just tells me to just enjoy it and savor it and all that. So, yeah, those guys, man. That's one cool thing about getting them to kind of diving face first and all this, like guys like that who have helped a tremendous amount, whether they know it or not, like with their tips and all that, and just the support and having them coming and doing this stuff. Like it's pretty cool. So yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, in reality, it's not something your coaches teach you. I mean,
yeah,
I know nowadays they're, like I saw Rempe was with LaRock in the summer here and things like
yeah,
that. But there's only
yeah,
some guys that do that stuff.
for sure,
It's not like something that you're gonna do in practice,
for
or you'll
sure.
have a new guy kind of come up and be like, "Well, I know there's fighting here. I want to
Yeah,
know what fighting,
and
what
that's
can
one
I
thing
do
I
to protect myself."
that's one thing I tried. Like when I was playing with Waterford last year, I took a couple guys aside that would ask me, for some tips and stuff, and was showing them because it's good, even if you're not one of those guys who's going to be going, on a regular basis. It's good to know how to defend yourself in case somebody grabs you who doesn't know anything or something. I guess,
Yeah, if you're not wearing
and
full
so
face masks, you got to know. You know.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, for sure.
Got to keep something pretty, right?
Yeah, right.
One thing I'm kind of curious about. It's good that we're kind of it's in this moment. I was really curious to ask what aspects of your boxing comes to play on the ice, but also what aspects of your fighting on the ice has come to your boxing career.
So So with switching to hockey, that was one thing. Like it definitely took a little bit of time, like figuring out, not only balance was a major thing, transitioning to those player skates. But once I got that down and weight transitioning and all that, and really started like finding my style I'd say with boxing, definitely because most of the time I'm fighting it's with another heavy and we're squaring up kind of doing the show thing or whatever, so that first shot I'd say is where boxing most relates for me, at least because when I first started doing this I would think about boxing too much and not getting hit, and that's not the best offense, excuse me, the best defense in a hockey fight is offense. So positioning yourself properly and giving yourself the opportunities to exchange without being touched, you know what I mean, that type of stuff. But when I first came over, I was, had everything, mixed up a little bit, but was, putting the pieces together. But I'd say that first shot is that first shot is where, distance and all that, and when to throw, where to throw it exactly, how hard to throw it, all that. But then after that, once you get tangled up, I'd say then that's when I had to, you know, find myself, as a hockey fighter, when you're grabbing jerseys, you're not boxing at that point, you're in the clinch and you're grabbing jerseys and all that stuff. So, but yeah, so and
Where's your preference to grab? Where do you prefer to grab a guy's jersey usually?
so so when I like to throw the, if he's making his way over to me and hurry, I like to let that left come, that straight left go first, and then grab. And I like to smother a little bit, and I really, being a bigger fella, I really like getting the back of their collar, the back of their sweater. That way, I can have them on the inside, and I can control. I can take the fight. I can choose how the fight goes. You know what I mean? Like I can control the fight because being bigger, and stuff, and having that. Because when you have the collar and stuff, and that was one thing when I was, because I was in a rush, right? When I was learning how to do all this, I was in a rush to, figure it out. And when I wasn't the most confident with my balance when I first started on the player skates. So that's what I originally taught myself. Once I'm like, I shouldn't be grabbing these guys at the front of the collar and going long with them. I should be as strong as I am. I should be grabbing these guys, from the back and controlling it. And yeah, then I just, try to let those machine gun left hooks go. So yeah, once I have a hold of them and have their arms positioned where I want them, But yeah, I like to grab the back of the collar, get on the inside there,
Seems like it probably keeps them a little closer to you too, so you can have full extension on
and
on the
that's
punch.
yeah, and like I said, yeah, that way, I feel like grabbing that way for me at least is and I, after I grab a lot of spin, watching and talking with Georges, he was a bigger fellow like me. He was pretty much the same size. And you watch all his tilts, right? He controls them. You know what I mean? Like he does. Not every fight he knocks the guy out with a huge punch, but he's ragged all. He's controlling the whole fight, and
Yeah.
he's getting his shots in. You know what I mean? So yeah, being a bigger fella, grabbing from that back of the collar there, spinning around, getting that weight transitioning going, starting to, as everything was going on, I started learning all this stuff. So yeah, no,
Well,
but yeah,
it sounds like it's, just like anything. Sounds like you got to learn on the job a bit. So,
yeah, for sure. And it was quick, but man, hey, I've enjoyed it. It's been a silly, fun, little ride so far, and I'm excited for the next few years here to see where it goes. So, but yeah, it's a silly story and all, but man, it's a blast. And just like I said, being on the ice, man, it really is a blessing. So.
no, that's great. I mean, as far as what you're looking for this season, Kalkuska, I had to look it up, and I'm from Michigan, and just so people can see on the
Up
visual,
in
it's
northern Michigan.
way up here, and not really near any place, but they got cool jerseys. They
Yeah,
got they got
it's
good
like a
stuff.
half hour out of Traverse City. Though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in the sticks a bit. Yeah.
What's kind of what are you looking? I mean, we know that you're going to try to challenge the opponent's tough guys, but any other expectations of what you're thinking about through the season
Yeah,
coming up?
because obviously that is my main like. And I want to put up some points with Kalkaska. Yeah, like I want to progress as a hockey player and use at that level, progress myself as a hockey player. But at the same time, yeah, any heavies who want it for sure, definitely. I want all the heavies in the league, and because when and if to higher leagues and different teams, that is essentially what I'm going to be there for. Yeah, like there's no
Yeah.
yeah, that's what
Plus,
I'll
I
be there
imagine
for.
getting
So
as long as you've been, as like you say, you've been progressing your hockey skill, that probably will produce more minutes for you. So
for sure,
that's
yeah.
so you're not so you're not just the guy that gets the tap on the back when
Yeah,
you're the
with
guy kind of chirping or
for
something.
sure, and hey, for when it comes to climbing the leagues and stuff, obviously, like I said, I'm no dummy. That is what I'm there for when it comes to. But yeah, with Kalkaska and the APHL here, I'm really looking this season to progress myself, as a player and work on the little thing. I was in a rush, when I first started to just teach myself how to fight on the ice and in the gear and stuff. But now that I've gotten the fighting part down, now I'm on the ice. Now I'm looking to progress, playing the game, full round
Yeah.
a bit more on the ice. So, but yeah,
No, be
it's coming along. It's coming along. So
we gotta. It's good. I mean, I think every athlete wants to be well rounded, and I think
yeah,
of course, like you say, what you're there for, but you also want to be, you don't want to be detrimental to you know anything else
yeah,
on the ice.
absolutely, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Um, One thing we're kind of getting closing out here. I got a couple questions left. And one is because I know I really like the way you kind of think about this, but what are you thinking about how fighting in hockey is now?
I mean, hey, this like as in what level? Like in minor pro or in the
Any
national
level,
league?
really, like because I remember you mentioning forget the podcast you're on. You were talking about how at the NHL level the guys are so fast now, but you know
Yeah, hey,
you made one
if you
very
had
good point
yeah,
that was you got to watch it.
if you mixed in some heavyweight bouts and some consistent fighting numbers, some good show with the modern day talent and speed, man, this could definitely be the most popular viewed sport, you know, in the world. You know what I mean? That would be the most exciting game, you know, ever. You mix all that in together, but you know, there's no doubt about that. But as a whole, I mean, the minor leagues, you know, there's still obviously a lot of boys, you know, banging it out. And then you know, the Quebec League, man, there's a lot of respect for all those boys.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for a long time. I've been dying to get to that league because of the import rule. I've talked to several clubs up there. As soon as I started skating out, I've been trying to get up there because they're always looking for big boys. And yeah,
It's
because of
so
their
surprising in Quebec too, because they were the first of the three junior teams to eliminate fighting, even though
yeah,
they have one of the most
yeah, the
well-known
rest.
fighting leagues in all of hockey.
Right, which yeah, they looked at that league as the outlaw league forever and all that, but yeah, that those are two different worlds though, that league and that. But yeah, the LNH man, those boys, yeah, for sure. I hope that import rule they have is gone at some point because I tried to sneak through it because I played some games in that in Quebec, but it wasn't a Quebec sanctioned league. So, because that's their whole thing. It's the rule is if you're an import, you have to either had played in the Maritime or Quebec sanctioned league coming up, or you have to be from there to play in it,
Yeah,
unless you're grandfathered in, like the couple of the other boys who came in and out the past
maybe
couple years.
have poutine more often.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff for sure. But
Um,
but
and then
yeah,
it's nice.
so
It's nice to see the progression, of these guys, young guys now like Rempe and
that's what I
some of
was
the
gonna
guys in the
say.
league.
Although coming up to the, because obviously in the minors that will always exist, and there's always going to be some heads around, right? Because that's what makes the get, you know, for a lot of areas, you know, towns, especially in the South and stuff. You know, a lot of people they want to see some fights and stuff. You know, they want to see, you know, like they want to see some excitement. They want to see some blood, and that'll always exist. And when it comes to the minors and stuff, because that's what keeps and so it keeps things flowing down at
Yeah,
that level. But in the National League, man, like this past year with Rempe, man, like, yeah, have you watched the preseason? There's some big boys that have been
yeah.
banging it out every night. I've seen 3, 4 scraps every morning right now in the preseason. Guys are hungry, and yeah, last year, man, that was Rempe with all that stuff going on. You know, his little flair, and then that led to McDermott coming back and all that. So like like,
I
and
forget the
then
name of the kid that's in Columbus that gave Rempe a run for his money. I
oh,
think
he's
that's
a
why.
tough Olivier.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a tough
I like
lad, man.
watching him.
Yeah. I like the way he scraps for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
he's a really
yeah,
good hockey
massive.
player too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, talk about well-rounded. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But yeah, and that's what I was saying. Ramsey wasn't running through everybody by any means, but he was going at
yeah.
every heavy willing. He was going everybody, and uh, he put a spark on it, man. That went crazy. And I mean, obviously, you're in New York. You know how crazy they were going for him, and it was on the
Kids
whole
I
league
coach,
and all.
11-year-old. I coach 11-year-olds that wear Rempe t-shirts.
Yeah, all over the
They're not
internet,
wearing. They're
everything.
not
He
wearing
got
Messier shirts. They're wearing Rempe shirts.
right. So, and that's what I mean, and all that. And I feel like, yeah, that's it's definitely a spark, and people are, at that level, it's been something for, like with that, the past in the recent years, that had decreased. So it's good to see that, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
hopefully it keeps pouring on, So
No, and I even what you just mentioned. I mentioned it in the intro for um my episode this week. And people always drive me crazy. They're like, "Oh, I don't watch preseason. That doesn't matter." And I'm like, "That's when it doesn't matter for standings, but it matters
yeah,
for that's your best way to see. That's the best way to see your prospects in the jersey you want them in because they might
yeah.
not make the team. And then on top of it, there's almost always two good scraps. Always.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because back in the day, preseasons there used to be
Oh
guys
yeah,
killing each other for spots.
yeah,
So it's good to see. Like I said, like every morning I've been waking up and I've been getting on Instagram and I see 4 or 5 scraps from the night before. And yeah, how cool did you saw the scrap with Travis? How
yeah.
cool is that? From the Fed
Although
from the
I was
Fed from the
yeah.
Fed to the show, like that's wild. Like slugging
No,
it out
it's
through the
so
whole
good.
time. Like that's sick. So
It's good,
yeah.
but like I told you, I had a bit of a maybe it's just the designer in me. Like I can't handle that much orange with that much
Oh,
around that much teal.
yeah.
Ooh. It's like watching like the Flint Tropics scenes or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
yeah, that's this together.
All right, Keegan, kind of closing out here. One thing I'm kind of curious about because you've got a few avenues you're going on. You got your current day job. You've got hockey. You've got boxing. I know you're waiting for a proper fight in the bare knuckle world. What what avenue are you or like what where's your focus kind of going down the road here?
So yeah, so right now, like I'm full time in the factory. I'm working all I got to, I got to, whatever, when it comes to fighting or working, I got to be making money from every angle all the time. So
Right.
being in the factory and training people, boxing and self defense, and with hockey season coming, like I said, these next few years, I just got to juggle everything. It's just, but it's working. I'm enjoying it, and like I said, so. But yeah, with hockey, I'm really gonna start to, because bare knuckle is always gonna be there and stuff. I feel like these next few years, I really want to see, it's already been such a silly, goofy story with the hockey thing, right? So I really, and I've enjoyed being back and stuff. So I'm really gonna push that here the next few years to see,
Yeah,
see what.
man.
So, but
And you're still young enough where, you
yeah.
know,
So, but like you said,
put your hands on it and make it happen, you know?
Yeah, you said what avenues? Yeah, I'm pursuing all of them. So yeah, no,
Good.
I'm getting after it for sure. So yeah.
Yep. That's awesome, man. Well, more power to what's going on. We'll keep an eye on Kalkuska this year. Um, Definitely we got to get some camera guys around you. Although I do like the ones that post the for Waterford Sharks. Do you have like multiple like people edit the video because it went from
What
different
ones?
angles
Yeah,
a
I
couple
think
times?
a couple of them I just throw uh a couple of those videos are just like all of the angles I had, or just throw like all of them into one or
Okay.
whatever. So yeah, and then some of the ones that Kurt has done with Hit Club. Shout out Kurt at Hit Club. That's my guy. So, but yeah. So, but yeah, like a couple of them are just from a few different angles. I saw a few of the boys, Nickelback Police, had done some fight videos like that, like just from a few different angles. So, but yeah. So.
Make it happen, man. You'll be you gotta we'll get you in to Diamond Hands status soon.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's another crazy story, man. You'd love to see that stuff.
Yeah,
It is wild. So yeah, it's beautiful.
yeah. Well, Keegan, thanks so much,
I
and
appreciate it, buddy.
we'll be in touch.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Thanks. Nothing better than talking with a goalie that has been a fighter in the minors. Um, I wish all the best to Keegan on his various endeavors. And I hope scouts from the Fed find him and hope he can finally get a fight together as well. Um, uh, he's going to be fun to watch. I'm sure we'll be able to get our hands on some video of his future fights once his season starts up in Michigan. But super, very solid person, and I'm excited to see what's next for him. Thank you, Keegan, for the chat, and yeah, brother, we'll keep an eye out for what's next in your world, and anybody in the Fed or the ECHL needs a fighter, um, he's your guy. So he'll help your team out. He'll stand up for your team. He'll stand up for his teammates, and he loves that stuff. So, well, that's the end of the episode. Don't forget to subscribe or comment below, um, and check Cross Ice Pass on Apple, Spotify as well. Yes, you can't see me, but you can hear me in those. So don't forget to throw that puck cross ice. The ice is getting harder, it's getting faster. So you can't say it's the ice's fault anymore to get that great cross ice pass. We'll see you next week on episode 37. Woo! All right, take care.
With perfect aim, setting up a scoring claim. From every pond to the old Olympia, hockey's the sport that has it all. Cross-ice pass, a thing of beauty, scoring goals, it's our duty. So lace them up, enjoying the fun. Hockey fever has begun. Create the play, a skillful feat, celebrating wins so sweet. Cross-ice pass, a blocking motion, slicing through like waves on the ocean. Take to take, with perfect aim, setting up a scoring claim. From every pond to the old Olympia, hockey's a sport that has it all. Cross-ice pass, a thing of beauty, scoring goals, it's our duty. So lace 'em up, enjoy the fun. Hockey fever has begun. Create the play, skillful feat, celebrating wins so sweet. Coach's voice booms from the bench, calling plays an expert cinch. Pucks on net, let 'em rip. We'll bring the chip to our grip. Resurfacing the ice every game. The Zamboni makes it smooth and precise. This pass needs no bumps, so the biscuit doesn't jump. Cross-ice pass, a blocking motion,